Okay, everyone, I am going to attempt to address a lot of the comments that I've gotten on this extremely controversial solar eclipse. If you hear noise in the background, I am sitting beside my fish tank, so you might hear water running, and I also have the windows open, so you might hear cars go by, and I apologize. This is my first video I've ever done where I'm actually recording my screen. So anyway, just to explain a little bit of a background, I came home early from work on the 21st of August to document what I could with the equipment I have of the solar eclipse. I got home about 17 minutes, well, about 15 minutes too late to get the very beginning of the eclipse. I prepared for this by attaching a number 10 welder's lens to my camera, so you can see right here, to make a makeshift solar filter. And this is when I first began, and I was just kind of showing progress, how extremely excited I was that I was actually able to somewhat focus on the sun and see what was going on. Now, I use a older camera. It's a Canon SX50. It's not a P900. I did not get the most focused or the most clear, or I did not have the best zoom lens on my camera, but I did what I could with what I had there. This is the beginning of that progress. I'm just gonna kind of swipe up here and show you. I don't know if this video will work. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna let it play a little bit.
Hey guys, this is me taking video of my camera with my cell phone, just showing you how well my homemade solar filter is doing with the welding lens. It's working pretty well. There's the sun up there, is super bright. Hard to tell what's going on here without that cover. This is what we got going on here. I got my buddy here with me. Yeah, buddy, are we watching the sun? Come here. Are we watching the sun? I wonder if you know what's going on. Can you feel anything? Anyway,
So there's that. I wanted to go over that. I'm doing this partly because I've had so many people accusing me of faking my photos, that they're photoshopped, that that I'm a shill, that I work for NASA. I don't even have a computer. This is what I have. This is my Samsung Galaxy, ironic name, cell phone. And I have a Samsung tablet that's just a little bit bigger than my phone, which does the exact same amount of things that my cell phone will do, as far as I have to use apps. I can't use like real programs for any kind of editing, even when I'm putting a caption on my pictures and such. I do not have Photoshop, and my photos were not fake. I'm going to scroll up here. Here was partway through the day, actually getting to about as far as totality as I was going to get, which was 80%. And unfortunately, I got some major cloud cover, but you'll see in the pictures above, I was able to still get pictures through the clouds because they weren't as thick at some points in time. It did get a little dim as well, even without the cloud cover, and with the cloud cover, it definitely got a little darker, and I could tell that there was a exceptional drop in temperature, which was kind of exciting. I'll scroll up through here. Here's another photo I posted. Just some neat progress. I was extremely excited with what I was able to get with that makeshift solar filter. Let me back up here. And then I did get, I did make a little video on some of my progress. Unfortunately, even as of right now, all the video that I did take with my camera, it's on an SD card, and then I have a little micro SD insert inside that card so I can put that into my Samsung tablet and upload photos and video. None of my editors will recognize the video off of my camera. They only recognize video off of a cell phone or off of the tablet. And so I have no way to edit anything. I can't add music. I can't connect the videos together. I can't even add my name. I can't get rid of the background noise. And I have no idea what might have been, making noise in the background, as far as I was out there for almost 3 hours and talking to my dog, and the chickens are making noise, and there's traffic. Anyway, I have no way to do that, and I even tried in the last couple days to upload a 30-minute clip and a 20-minute clip, and right now my tablet is still struggling to upload a 20-minute clip, and that was probably over 24 hours ago. So despite all my efforts, I cannot get any of my video to upload, other than what I took with my phone. So anyway, that little video there was something I uploaded onto YouTube just to show my progress. If you don't believe me and still think my stuff is fake, you can go to my profile page on Facebook. Everything is public. You can click on that video and you can watch it, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Carly Sunshine, because this video is on there as well. So will this video I'm taking right now. Now, here's a video of me. I was just showing my solar filter that I made. Very excited with how it worked. It was only a number 10 welder's lens. What was required, or what was suggested, was a number 14 welder's lens, and I could not find one of those. So I was using something that wasn't quite as powerful, and maybe that is why some of my videos are blurry. Some of the sun is very, very bright. I'm not gonna, well, maybe I will click on this and show some of my pictures if it'll load. I have other pictures. These are not fake. Yes, some of them are blurry. You get some blurry edges. We get some white out because it was very hard to focus. Like I said, I was not using a professional filter. I was using a homemade solar filter that I created on my own. That was some of my photos. And that I call it a raw photo album because I did not edit any of those. They were just uploaded right from my SD card onto my tablet. Here are some more when the sun, or the clouds started to roll in, and we were getting closer to 80% totality, which is just about all that I was able to see from Pennsylvania. These are all on my Facebook page. They are public. Any anomalies you're seeing here in the bright green spot are from the clouds, and I understand that. And you can see how the moon then moved. What I am saying is the moon moved then all the way past in front of the sun, or actually the sun moved behind the moon, because the sun moves faster than the moon. Alright, now let's get up to here. A couple people shared my album, which was nice of you. Thank you. I shared a couple other people's projects and photos. I wanted to get up here to some of the comments on some of my, I am going to say edits, but that's because I did change a little bit of the contrast on the photo just to bring out some of the details, and also put a caption and my name. Let's see what people are saying here. And just to give you a forewarning, my page is public, so when you post on my page, be forewarned that everything will be public. I got some good comments here. Wow, good work, Carly Sunshine. Thank you so much, Corey. Thank you, John Vina. Thank you, Felipe, for saying this is the best Eclipse post ever. People were questioning things. Let's see what we say here. Nothing too hateful. Some people were concerned that it wasn't the moon. I understand. Poncheesy says, I still don't see that being the moon. The regular moon is transparent, which I humbly do not agree with. I don't think it would blacken the sun. I waited patiently for this eclipse. I was trying to catch the moon out of place, but the moon never showed up. Even after the eclipse, it was like the moon was never there, because it wasn't, and it's not like we haven't seen the sun and moon share the same sky before. And then there's the whole west-east thing, so unless the moon has some tricks unknown to me, I gotta say that's really not the moon. And I did kind of go through and try to explain that, because I don't agree that there's any hard evidence that the moon is transparent. From what I've been studying since September of 2015, as I've been photographing the moon, let's go back to what he said. He said that even after the eclipse, it was like the moon was never there, because it wasn't, and it's not like we haven't seen the sun and the moon share the same sky before. Yes, you're correct. The sun and the moon share the same sky. However, the moon was in its new moon phase, which means the moon is completely unlit it is completely darkened and it is completely blotted out by the extreme brightness of the sun. The new moon cycles, the circuit brings the new moon and the sun past each other every month. The sun is moving faster than the moon because it runs on a 24-hour solar day. The moon runs on a 24-hour and 50-minute lunar day. So what we were seeing here in the eclipse is that the new moon moved into place. It was on its correct trajectory. That just so happens that it moved directly in front of the sun, which causes the eclipse. I believe that normally in a new moon, the new moon phase, that the moon travels probably above, below, or behind the sun, and we don't get a shadow, we don't get a eclipse, we don't get the sun blotted out. We never see the new moon in the new moon phase. We can never find it. We can't take photos of it. It is completely unlit. And it always is surpassed by the sun. So every month, every 28 days, we are witnessing the same thing we just witnessed with the eclipse. But most people are not paying attention to that. They're saying we always see the sun and the moon in the same sky. Well, we do. For about 14 days of the moon cycle, when the moon is waxing or waning as a crescent, it is the closest it's going to be to the sun cycle. The sun has caught up to it, and the sun is either catching up to the moon as its waning crescent phase, or the sun is surpassing the moon, and the moon is losing distance behind the sun in the sky by 11 degrees each day on average, which is about 50 minutes behind the sun's timing, and it is in its waxing crescent phase where it's starting to gain its light back. In between there, when it's the new moon phase, we do not see it. Okay, that's what happened. When it passed in front of the sun, or actually the sun passed in front of the moon, this is where we had the eclipse. And I think that I cover part of that in here. I also shared a Flat Earth Solar Eclipse Explained in 5 Minutes video that I did before the solar eclipse even happened, which I think does a good job of explaining what's going on here. Carrie Smith said the moon orbits from west to east faster than the Earth rotates. Google is your friend. Okay. As far as us being concerned that it looked like the moon was moving west to east, when we all know that the sun and the moon both move kind of, sort of, east to west, because that changes every day. The reason why it looked like the moon was moving west to east is because the sun was catching up to the moon. The sun was moving faster than the moon. When the sun surpassed the moon, they're both moving in the same direction. Sun is moving faster. As the sun moves past the moon, it's going to visually look like the moon is moving the opposite direction. But it's really just the sun moving past it quicker. That would also cause the moon's shadow to move from west to east. I just lost my place here. I'm going to find it again. It won't take me very long. I hope that makes sense, everyone that's listening to that. Let's get back to that photo with all the comments. And there's actually another group of photos that I would like to comment as well. Let's see here. Mad Mike. Flat Earth Rocket, I'm excited about. This is pretty cool. These strange crescent-shaped shadows and light. I didn't get to witness that, but it's pretty awesome. Thank you, Monique, for the nice post that you shared. Let's go back and find... I had a post where there was three different photos that I did edit these, but only to change the contrast on them and only to add a caption and my name. This is kind of the, you can see there's a lot of comments on here. Kind of the one that blew up. Let's see if I can talk about a couple of these. It's going to take a while to pack up. Let's see. How can you prove that's the moon, though? Ryan Beatty says, love it. David Pratt is pretty convinced that that's not the moon. Jason O'Neill thinks that this proves it's the moon. Stuff feels so set up. Let's see what they say. Jason, I just keep seeing certain folks repeating the same dogma. Seems you manipulated like the news. I bet it's Fepe behind it. And I said, seriously, Jason, I spent 3 hours in the heat today staring straight up, taking these photos and video. This is what I saw. It's the moon. It's always the moon. Every 28 days when it's new, its cycle allows the sun to surpass it. An eclipse, they line up perfectly. The black disk came out counterclockwise. It is not the moon. That's just because the sun was surpassing the moon. The moon was moving slower. The sun was moving faster. Let's see here. Can't see a moon even with the camera. LOL, translucent has meaning. If they were traveling in the same direction, the eclipse would start in the east still. No, that's not true, David. If the sun was surpassing the moon, going faster than the moon would look like it's moving west to east because you're seeing the sun move behind it. But what you're not realizing is if you weren't out there with the camera for 3 hours is that you would have to move your camera. I had to refocus probably every 30 seconds because the sun would move out of frame. It was moving very quickly, quicker than the moon. Some people are still much convinced that Rahu is real, even though we have, in my opinion, there is no evidence that Rahu exists. Let's see here. Sorry, this takes a little while, but just bear with me. I don't have a computer, so I'm just scrolling through my cell phone. Simon Jester says, that's the moon. Today was a new moon. Happens every month, and I completely agree. Colleen McDermott says, total BS. Also, nobody really knows. That's not true. Kyle Freeman also was pretty upset on some of these posts. Sunlight would have still lit up the ball. Plus, do you think NASA would pass up and opt to film the moon's other side? No, the sun would not have lit up the other side of the ball. Colleen says also, how come we see through the moon during the day? We don't see through the moon during the day. Let's see here. Simon says, study light diffusion. It's the reason that we can't see the unlit side of a half moon during the day or night. Correct. He must know a little bit about photography. He is correct. Let's see. This is not proof that it's the moon. Rahu or something else could have craters also. Yeah, sure. Rahu could have had craters. But there was quite a lot of evidence that that was the moon's trajectory. The moon was supposed to be in that position at that time, and that it was the new moon, and that the new moon is always, always, always unlit to us, and we can never, ever see the new moon. And we know that the moon and the sun are similar in size, if not identical in size, and that they're on a very similar path, and they're cycling in the same direction. We know that the sun moves faster than the moon, and that this time around the moon eclipsed the sun. Good work, Carly. Yes, that seems to move us past all that Rahu jazz. Yay. Thank you, Matthew. Whoops. Sorry, no moon wasn't the moon. Sorry, no moon wasn't the moon. Been in discussion all day. Could not have been the moon. I said every month the moon does the same thing. Yes, the moon was there, just like all other new moon phases when it's unlit every 28 days. This time the sun went behind the moon instead of the moon going behind the sun. Here's a picture that Kyle shared. That's from someone using a much better camera and a much better solar filter, actually probably using a bought solar filter, and then some kind of edit supposed to be proving that there was no body, that there was no moon moving in front of the sun. Sink this one in, he says. Let's see. Colleen says, I agree, definitely not the moon, I'm sure, and I feel it like I felt flat earth resonate. Well, I cannot prove this. Likewise, it cannot be proven that it's the moon. MSM mumbo jumbo, it always contradicts Effie just stating that it is the moon. And then she says we got another popular F-ear flat earther insisting it's the moon. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'll take heed on either side of that because I check my ego. And of course she's making fun of me when she says we got another popular flat earther. I'll take heed on either side of that because I check my ego. Just seems funny that it's totally definitely proven to be the moon. Guys, carry on, nothing to see here, folks. And I said, how does that contradict flat earth? The moon does this every month. I've been tracking it since the blood moon eclipse in September 2015. I said, okay, thanks everyone for the support and encouragement. I look forward to your evidence of alternative luminary bodies, which I have not seen yet. I definitely understand and follow the moon phases. To actually prove that it's the moon, we'd need to see the celestial patterns in comparison with the sun to see the exact path and prove concretely that it is indeed the moon. I'll be happy to stand corrected if I'm wrong. There is other footage, not from today that I know of, where you can see other celestial bodies, etc. I've been off the flat earth studying radars of late, but if need be, I can do more research. The video that she's talking about is a video showing very slowly a solar eclipse and the moon moving in front of the sun, and there is a solar lens flare moving in on the opposite direction because the flares always move opposite. They mirror what you're actually looking at, and what you're seeing in that video is a solar lens flare mirrored. It is not another body. It is not Rahu or Ketu or another moon or something else. It's not an orb. It's just a solar lens flare being mirrored. In fact, it is a very dark body with a very thin ring of light around it. It is exact opposite mirror of what you're seeing in the eclipse. It is just a solar lens flare. So we go on. I said, understand all these years I have seen no solid proof or evidence of Rahu or Ketu other than solar flare, lens flare, and lens mirroring. I look forward to this evidence. Rest well. I said I have massive amounts of footage from today. I'll be analyzing it tomorrow. Kyle says, yes, not trying to be aggressive in any way. I just have way more people observing no moon here. LOL, it doesn't make sense. Scroll my wall. I've shared almost everybody's posts so far. I've been asking about the moon yesterday. I said, are they photographers? Getting down through here. Kyle Freeman, Carly, Sunshine, Madrano, doesn't matter. They are all researchers. I asked if they were photographers. Everyone has something to offer. You know this. I was told my opinion doesn't matter because I'm not a respectable researcher by someone just like me. Because they watched or listened to respectable researchers. So that makes them in turn respectable, but not me for doing my own research as well. Dirt. Okay. Kyle Freeman, I'll get the proof it wasn't the moon. Don't worry. I feel Carly's pics are altered. So right there, he's telling me that I'm faking my photos. It gets worse. Main reason nobody else that I can find shot pics of the moon's craters. Every pic of the eclipse shows black disk. All black like pitch black. Her images show the moon's craters on the edges to the left. But my buddy's pictures with far better cam and real filters didn't pick up any craters. Not trying to be disrespectful either. I'm trying to figure out why all her pics have an extra shadow at the intersecting lines of the sun and moon as well. Keep looking because there are none. Sean Milano says, Colleen McDermott, you should get a camera and start looking for yourself. There's no substitute for doing your own science. It's far superior to suspicion and superstition. Colleen McDermott, the point is not to cherry-pick information that supports an alternate model. It is to uncover the truth that is undeniably being hidden from us. Some of it is deception, some is ignorance. I don't give a shit if it turns out we live in breakdancing rabbi's beard. The point is that there are so many conceptual problems with the heliocentric globe Earth, evolution, Big Bang model that they simply can no longer be accepted as fact. It is up to us to figure this out. Blah, blah, blah. Sean says, yeah, and maybe buy a camera and see for yourself before insinuating someone who's doing just that, their own research, is some kind of double agent controlled opposition. At least she is showing some evidence. You are showing none. Zero. I think a lot of flat earthers are too attached to their own ideas that everyone is a shill, and they have no proof. Everyone who contributes becomes immediately suspect. Good luck getting talented people with resources to share anything with you with that attitude. You won't. You'll just get a bunch of losers on Facebook. Some of the... I did some screenshots because some things were erased, and I also ended up having to block some people. Kyle Freeman telling me my pics with the creators are fake, which they are not. All my stuff was genuine, real. I did not fake anything. Add the creators by hand, he said, which I definitely did not. Accused me of photoshopping or faking these images. It was very hurtful. Alright, there's a couple other places I wanted to go. See what else ends up here. Kyle Freeman says this was not an edit, but if you mess with the colors and the contrast, you are editing the photo. Kyle Freeman says, don't think I undermined anything. I'm waiting on some more evidence of my own to come back. You should check out Carly's photos before these. None of them match up with what's shown in these 3 pics. What's with the extra shadows in the corners? I'm confused. Well, there's not extra shadows. It was just very difficult to focus in on the light, the extremely bright white light from the sun with a solar filter that I made. So there wasn't crisp edges like some of the other photos. And that video that I did shows it. And now Kyle is saying, I'm confused. Nobody else's photos show the craters of the moon. I smell some Photoshop. This is where it becomes slanderous. This is where people are falsely accusing me of doing something I did not. All my photos, my video, they're all genuine. I mean, I documented what I was doing as I went along that day. I smell Photoshop. I don't even have a computer. I don't have Photoshop. Very, very hurtful. He hasn't seen anyone else's pictures that look like this. Well, nobody else, I bet, used a welder's lens and siliconed it to their own camera. Thank you, Monique. Carly Sunshine, what is that at the corners? Why is it like that? If you watch the video that I shared earlier, you can see that my camera was just having a hard time focusing on the extreme brightness of the sun. He said my pics have been messed with, which they have not. My images seem modified, which they were not. Gabriel the Architect says, for Christ's sake, why would she add a lighting anomaly if she photoshopped her pics? That's a really nonsensical conclusion you've come to. And your proof, because she was able to capture craters and you don't like that, thus Photoshop, your bias will cause you to always say any photo that disagrees with you is fake because you've demonstrated you don't need proof of fakery to make that claim. Why not behave like a rational skeptic? Tuck this away in your brain somewhere and wait to see if anybody corroborates these images in the future. But no, you have to decide right now because you're not a skeptic, you're a believer with cognitive dissonance. Take a chill pill. It's really rude and arrogant to accuse someone of forgery with zero evidence just because you don't like what you're seeing. I'm a Photoshop pro, and I could remove the lighting anomaly within a minute. So it's just lame to think it was added for reasons. Come on, try to logic with me, bro. And then he kind of said something hurtful, but yeah, thanks, Gabriel. I haven't come to any conclusions. I'm about to, though. I've not found one pic showing moon craters. I do have people in the works that I've talked to that have seen something like craters on the moon and are 100% convinced that it was the moon. People that had much better equipment than me, people that sent up balloons during the eclipse, people that will be coming out with their work soon. So I will have someone to corroborate and back up what I have here. Not fake photos. Here's some of my originals. Anyway, thank you for those who were standing up for me. Let's see if I can go one more place. It's hurtful when I have to go. I've never done this before. When I have to go over some of these disgusting comment threads because people are just extremely rude. I posted this on the 24th. The harder I try, the more I am attacked, belittled, slandered, judged, falsely accused, and hated. It makes me start feeling like I just want to give up. Like, why am I spending my time for free to be, harassed like this? It's just driving me crazy. So here we go. James Jimmy Parker placed on this comment thread, maybe if you didn't post fake pictures of the eclipse and then try to tell us it was the moon when we clearly can see it wasn't, this may help. I said, my pictures are not fake. Years of being friends and you're going to be an asshole. James said the moon did not pass in front of the sun. It was clear for everyone to see. So how is the moon entirely invisible and yet it's right next to the sun? Why wasn't the sun totally lighting up the moon? Because the moon has nothing to do with an eclipse. That's why. Samuel says, James, you have not grasped the dynamics of lighting and the new moon phases. You are wrong. Firstly, you can check the trajectory. It surely was the moon. And the reason that you didn't see the details on the moon is firstly because a new moon is always invisible. It is unlit. Whether it is an eclipse or not, walk before running. Study moon phases to grasp eclipses. Secondly, it's because with a light source behind it, it's no more than a silhouette. Samuel said, you're on every bullshit bandwagon, hey? James Jimmy Parker still pushing the Mandela effect. Sorry about that. Let's go back and see what else he said. Look, the moon passing in front of the sun. Where? This is a black disk, not the moon passing in front of the sun. People need to start using their own eyes to see. James said the moon did not pass in front of the sun. It was clear for everyone to see. So how is the moon entirely invisible and yet it's right next to the sun? This is a repeat comment. Why wasn't the sun totally lighting up the moon? Because the moon has nothing to do with the eclipse. Let's read some of these responses. Unfortunately, I had to block James because he was getting aggressive. The moon was in its new moon phase, which it does every 28 days. Same thing, every month, and it's always when it is surpassed by the sun. Sun moves faster. Sun has a 24-hour day. Moon has a 24-hour and 50-minute day. This is what causes the phasing. The moon was totally unlit, and you cannot see. Same as all new moon phases. Pay attention to the next new moon. I have since September 2015. You cannot see a new moon ever. The two luminaries, which are similar size, on the same similar circuit, eclipsed. The sun raced by behind the moon, which is also why the eclipse happened west to east, and the shadow went west to east. Don't be a dick and ruin a friendship. I shared my 5-minute solar eclipse explanation. I said everyone's upset because we didn't see the moon before or after. Well, no one ever cares about that any other new moon phase when it's being passed by the sun. No visual evidence of Rahu or Ketu in the sky ever. James said, Carly, I know how the so-called moon cycle works. I'm sorry it was not the moon passing in front of the sun. Who are you trying to kid here? The sun didn't totally light up the moon because it isn't totally or fully lit until they are 180 degrees opposite of each other in the sky. This is what we call the full moon. Oh, and I was a little frustrated. Please share your Rahu proof here. James said it was right by its side. Are you trying to tell me it wouldn't be lit in some way by the sun right next to it? No, James, it wouldn't be. The sun passes by the moon every month, every 28 days from the new moon cycle. It does it every month, and for about 24 to 40 hours is difficult, if not completely impossible to see. You cannot see the unlit moon, and when it starts waxing and waning as a crescent, it is still very, very difficult to see. He says, who said anything about Rahu? Now you're just putting words into my mouth. That's just a bullshit theory, just like your moon passing in front of the sun. Actually, the sun passed in front of the moon. Thank you very much. It never is, James. Every new moon phase, they come very close to each other. The phasing starts as a crescent as the moon loses distance in the sky away from the sun. This is what we observe. I said, okay, then what are your thoughts or proof of what eclipsed the moon? James says, you're just pushing mainstream NASA bullshit here. LOL. WTF. And I said, no. Questioning. James said it's half NASA moon passes in front of the sun bullshit. And he said mixed in with how it works on a flat earth. But he's really, really misinformed. The moon and sun have a symbiotic relationship. This is what I'm saying. The moon still creates its own light. Please watch the moon from now until next moon every day. The moon is losing on average 11 degrees distance from the sun. This is why we see the sun and moon in daytime sky together. Eventually it creates more distance until they are 180 degrees opposite each other in the sky. It will be full. When it starts to waning phases and loses light until the sun catches back up to it. It's every month, my friend. He said, okay, I'm going to explain why your photo is fake and how your bullshit theory about the moon passing in front of the sun is bullshit. Are you ready? Here goes. This is your fake photo of the so-called moon passing in front of the sun, yes? He questioned. Is this photo you are showing craters and the curve of the moon when it's a full moon, yes? No, James. This is not a full moon. This is the sun in the background with the new moon passing in front of it. A full moon is the moon when it's 180 degrees opposite in the sky of the sun. I don't know how many times I have to say it. James says, but a full moon never shows curve or the craters. These are only visible when the earth is waxing or waning. So your photo is fake and is cut from a waxing or waning moon because the moon never shows curve or detailed craters when full on the front or so-called fake backside, which is also a lie. Waxing moon. Notice the curve only appears when it is waxing or waning, not on the top, where no curve or craters are detailed. It's not fake, and yes, that's my photo I was answering. He said, a photo I took myself of the full moon, no detailed craters or curve, even at the very edges. Well, the problem is with that photo is that the light aperture has not been turned down far enough, and you're getting a lot of, like washout from the brightness of the moon. You can't see any detail at all. So I posted a picture of a very highly detailed full moon. And yes, you can see craters on the edges. You can see a whole lot of detail when you have your light aperture correct. Here's another photo. This is a really good one. Yes, when the moon is full, there at the bottom you can see craters at the edges. High definition photos with the light aperture turned down show craters. I can't keep arguing this with you. I just won't tolerate someone calling me a liar, that my work is fake on my page. I'm resting for bed. And then he goes on. And I pretty much ended it there, and I blocked him because I couldn't stand it anymore. Anyway, there's probably a lot more I could share. It's very difficult to be trying as hard as I possibly can to help the movement and document what I want, observe what I want, and share it, and then be attacked. And I know now, right now, as I speak, that James Jimmy Parker is doing either a hit piece on me, or he has like a show campaign going on. He has a post going on somewhere, or maybe multiple places. I haven't blocked, so I can't see it, where he is saying that I am a shill. I think he might have been saying he thinks I work for NASA and that I'm faking these photos. I wanted to make this video to show you that I'm not faking the photos. The photos were genuinely taken by me. I showed you the video of the day I was taking them. I showed you some of my raw photos. I showed you, yes, I did have a few edits where I thought I saw craters, and it looks an awful lot like a match to the moon. Let me see here if I can actually, I'm going to back up into my photos. I have well, maybe I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway, I have I do have a photo where I compared the craters to an actual lit photo of a moon. And the craters look an awful lot like they match up to me. I can't say anything 100%, but I don't appreciate being attacked and being slandered and being judged and being hated on my page or any other pages. And I'm seeing it just everywhere. So everyone, please, I am in this for genuine reasons. I'm not faking anything. I did not fake any photos or Photoshop any photos. Everything is genuine that I've been posting, and those are my theories and my thoughts. Be respectful. I'm respectful of all of you, and I stand up for all of you in all kinds of threads everywhere and on YouTube. So stop with the hate. Stand up for each other. Don't allow this to keep happening. I don't care if you think it was Rahu or it was the moon. I think it was the moon. That's my theory. I'm not going to hate you if you think it was Rahu, but don't attack. Sunshine out.